We're ready to go for round number 5. It's the Endurance Championship Series. We've got a few minutes before we go green, but before we do, we're going to talk to some drivers. Great to have everybody along. Hi, my name is James, and I abruptly cut off that music so that I can introduce Jason, who's down in the pits. He's going to talk to our top 3 that are in the Championship Series. This series is running for 6 months, and this is round number 5, so we're getting ready to battle it between these 3. Jason, you've got Marshall, Rachel, and Dom.
I do.
Let me bring up your mic, Carrie.
Top 3. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'll wait for the echo.
There
Good
you
to
go.
be here. Hey, check that. All right, cool. I've got Marshall, Rachel, and Dominic with us. So we are kicking off whatever round it is. You guys remember how many? 5? Round 5. I was going to say 4, so 5. Round 5. And you guys, second and third, neck and neck, 2 points difference. I don't know the points difference to Marshall, but a lot. Is it?
Yeah.
So, commanding lead, Marshall, what is your philosophy? What is your thoughts going into this race?
Going into this race, just win it. I'm not worried. I don't know. I'm just here to win it.
You gonna check for the checkered flag this time?
Yeah. What race was that? I did that.
It was
I won it in the
like the
pits.
first one.
I think it was the first one actually. Yeah, that was funny. A lot of people are irritated, but
That's all right. So Marshall and Dom neck and neck, 2 points difference spreading between you guys. Going into this race, how do you guys think it's going to go? What are you looking for? Are you hoping you're qualifying in the same heat or hoping you're not qualifying in the same heat?
I'm hoping to have good luck and qualify in the first heat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rachel honestly had me the first couple races, and then once she qualified B main, it was like that was really the breaking. Like that was the moment. It was like I feel like that's why we're so close. I just hope for good luck and pit stop magic. Be quick on the pit stops. I got her last time, so.
Pit stops are super important in this series, as we found out with the timing board right behind us. It's an awesome cue for you drivers to kind of figure out and time your pit stops accordingly so you can leave the pit at the same time. So it's pretty cool. But
you go speed 4 in it, and then you'll get a 5-second penalty.
that happened in the Pro Endurance. That was great. But yeah, so looking to be a very competitive night, James. I cannot wait to see what happens with these. And I think we're running two finals tonight and 2 qualifiers. There's a number of people. Last I heard, 22, 23 drivers tonight, so it's growing quite a bit. Hopefully, yeah, exactly, right?
There's a lot of names. A lot of names, a lot of new faces. I love it.
I mean, keep spreading, but I just can't believe how fast it's spreading.
It's good.
Only 12 the one night, I feel like, or last year.
Yeah, started small and keeps growing. People love the endurance, so you never know. Some of these drivers that are new may catch up to you guys at some point, so better watch out there.
It's scary. I have to keep working on myself.
Yeah, Marshall won 3 of the rounds. Rachel won the most recent one. So now the points are within 10 points, and then Dom and Rachel are within a few points of each other. Actually, let's do the points while we're talking about that.
What's the spread to 4th was the question they asked me.
It's between, I'm going to overlay on top of you guys. So
Go for it.
Between Dominic and Sean is 12 points.
Dominic and Sean is 12 points. So there's 12 points difference between you and 4th place, but
Yeah.
there's only 10 points to Marshall. So 10 points to Marshall. If Marshall has a really bad night, he's shaking his head no. I mean, what do you guys think? Can you make up that 10-point gap?
If you get the bad luck and qualify in the B main, that's at least 12 points that you could lose. So it's possible, but not probable.
Oh, well, anything can happen, right?
Numbers.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, good luck to you guys. We'll see you soon. James, I'll run back upstairs for you. I'm sure you're going to run on the points and where we're at right now, and I'll be right up there.
Yeah, I will do that because the points are on screen, and we talked about in previous rounds, so you got 25 points on offer on a given week, and that way it doesn't matter how many people show up, unlike the GP series. So winner gets 25. There's also a bonus point for pole position, and there's a bonus point for there's 2 points for single point for fastest lap of the race, and a 2-point bonus for the biggest mover. Nope, I still got those backwards. See, I practiced this beforehand, and because I'm having a problem with all my buttons, I don't have it correct. All
Let's check up on the chat here. So we've got our Mark fans, Ray fans, love it. 2-2 tied up.
Yeah, so we have to talk about Ray because, and apologies up front, because we had somebody who donated, who did a super chat last week or a month ago, and we didn't give him a GoPro camera. So sorry about that, guys. We will try to fix that today.
Yeah, we'll definitely give him one.
How about there? Okay.
All right.
Let's
Let's
try this. This is the part that we cut out anyway, so it's only you guys watching live that you get to watch this. Everybody else that's on recorded, it doesn't matter anymore.
Aw.
So, all right, time has expired. So we were talking about standings, and we hit on the top few. But the thing I wanted to point out was we have 3 rookies in the top 10 of the championship overall, and that's Sean, Brandon, and Tristan. And they have their own championship going on, but they're still qualified for points as far as the big championship. The thing I always find interesting is I watch back these races. We got positions 4 and 5. We got Sean and PJ who are within a point of each other because they pretty much just qualify about the same times, and they always are racing together. So if there's one battle up at the top with the group of 3 that you talked to, but then there's also this battle between Sean, PJ, and Giovanni that is also happening on the next group of 3 drivers. It's fun to watch.
It is. Yeah, and especially seeing the rookies coming in on the leaderboard. That's really cool to see. Our rookie series was out there just to get people acclimated to endurance, and they're really kicking it off. There's usually it's a lot of good racing in the mid-pack like that.
The number 4 spot, and you're looking at the rookies, the number 4 spot, Jonathan Douglas, is not going to be competing with us tonight. So that's going to open up that field a little bit. Mark Davis is, so he's in 5th. Gives him an opportunity to maybe gain some ground. But I've heard Jonathan is actually going to be visiting some other K1s this weekend. So
okay. There's some good facilities. You know where he's at? Which one?
I think he's going to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So if you're watching, Jonathan, drop us a chat to let us know.
Yeah. Definitely. Big crowd tonight. That's so cool. I love seeing this grow like this. It's great.
For sure. And we enjoy seeing new drivers as well. We just talked to somebody down in the pit lane who was contemplating running it tonight, not ready to run it yet, but I said, this is a good time to run because you get so many repetitive laps. You get to practice a lot.
Since the beginning of this, that's always been my pitch to people, I guess, is like, this is the best bang for the buck way to learn racing here and racing in general. You typically in a group like this, you're going to get stuck with people of your speed, capability-wise, in the qualifying. And then from qualifying in the race, you get to race with the pro class as well. So you get to learn from their lines and what they're doing, and you just get so many laps for the money. It's a really cool series.
Because we all know that following somebody who's faster than you usually helps your lap times.
Definitely.
So what we're doing tonight is we're going to split them into 2 groups because we have enough drivers for that. There will be 2 mains. There'll be 2 sets of qualifiers. The qualifier is only 5 laps because the main focus is the 30-minute race. So we'll run the B main first after the qualifier is done, and then we'll get to the A main, which that will be for position. We'll do standing starts just like we always do, and the track is in standard direction still. But I'll go ahead and warn the drivers at this point that this last round next month will be reverse direction. So we want to make sure we throw a couple different reverses in there. We did that the second round. That'll also be the finale round in reverse. It worked pretty well.
Awesome. Looks like everybody's getting ready for the randomizer, so they get to pick their karts at random on the computer down there. That way everything is fair and square.
Yeah, we got 11 and 11, so 22 drivers total. Actually, 12 and 11. So 23. So
awesome.
Good. I think last month was kind of an anomaly because it being Father's Day, it wasn't a great Sunday for availability for everyone. So
gotcha.
Definitely understood that being the case. But it gave us an opportunity to run one main, which was kind of
one big
good.
Main is always fun. I wish we could run all of them all at once. 22 on the outdoor track is a lot of karts, but the kart swaps is...
It's the kart swaps, yeah. There is a kart swap during this race. You get to choose when you swap. You come into the pits anytime. So we saw a couple drivers take advantage of early pit stops, Giovanni being one of those people last month. He took an early pit stop and ran most of the race on one car. The 30-minute window is plenty of, or the battery has plenty of energy for the entire race, so you don't have to worry about that. We keep the pit stop strategy in there just because it adds strategy to the race. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the scoreboard and the tower pylon, and you're looking at the people up in top, usually people that haven't pitted, and then we look to see how things sort out throughout the race.
It's a lot like the Formula One races in that, where the race today I watched, and the whole field would shuffle up depending on where they were pitting, and pit strategy plays a big role in any type of professional racing that has pit stops. So this is a really cool entryway for a lot of these drivers. Young driver like Giovanni right there. It's a cool way to get experience in professional strategy of sports, especially racing.
It is, because Giovanni's probably been someone who probably got hurt the most with pit strategies throughout this entire season. So
yeah.
I'm sure he's looking to clean that up and get a good result this time around for sure. We got 2 rounds left in the season. Giovanni, obviously we talked about him several times. He is the K1 Speed Junior World Champion. He was out in California earlier this year. It's hard to believe that we're still in the same year. Seems like we were talking about that forever ago, back in March, I believe. But the calendar year is sometimes very long, and sometimes when we stretch out this particular series over 6 months, it just takes several months of competition. So
changes and everything that happens every race,
and especially this month, because we're basically 5 weeks away from our previous race, with June having a 5th Sunday. So, and then we didn't stream GP a couple weeks ago, so it's been a while since we've been up here.
I know. Kind of missed it. Pro Series, we didn't have a camera op, so we didn't do that, but we did record it. It was a good race.
Yeah, Pro Series being the Monday night race, which is an hour long, basically double the length, but it's a team race, or team-oriented, but you can run it single.
You can run it single. Yeah, there's only a couple single drivers, so it really has turned into a very team-oriented style of racing, which is good because it preps them for the 6 hours coming up and the 12 hours coming up in March.
Yeah, if you haven't heard about the 6 hours, Jason's going to tell you about it right now.
September 21st, we are doing the 6 hours of Canton. It is back, and we are doing a car show community event. So September 21st, the facility will open at noon, and you're welcome to come hang out, drive some junior karts, that kind of fun. And then 4 o'clock is when the car show starts. It's all inclusive, so cars, bikes, anything, bring it. If it has a motor, bring it. I want EVs and everything we can possibly get into the parking lot. That would be fantastic. And 4:30 is when the pros go out for their qualifying session for the 6 hours, and then the 6 hours starts at 6 o'clock. It'll run till midnight. So lots of stuff to do all day, all night. So you're more than welcome. Bring the family out and have some fun. And if you're a racer, you missed out on the 12 hours, or you're a racer in this series or from out of state, and you wish I could do an endurance race, this is the one for you.
We've got a couple inquiries about that. We have had people who are now starting to see some of the social media stuff out of the area and see some interest in that. So it would be great to see some of you guys make it to Ohio for that race.
It'd be great. Yeah, we've had people come in for the 12 hours from Alaska, Texas, all over the place. Other karting facilities send out teams every year. So it's really inclusive as far as driving goes, but recommend come out a few days early, run the track, get to know it with your team, and then run the race, and good luck to you.
Especially getting the practice sessions. That's going to be pretty important if you're here, if you're new. Some people have said the Superleggero karts that we run are different than the Storms. I mean, that is the car that a majority of the K1 Speeds run. So you want to get into this car, practice it. There's a couple characteristics that I think are a little different, but the other big thing is just getting to know the track. So you'll have an opportunity to do that before.
Yeah, if you've got experience at other K1 locations, there are similarities to the karts, but you'll be able to grasp it. You'll be competitive. Come out, run a few days early, and there are teams local that look for people out of the state as well, because they try to put all their money together to pay for the entry fee.
All right, well, let's get some qualifying going. This is what you guys want to see, is cars out on track. So we're going to have a couple GoPros. We got Tristan first. Then we've got Jacob Ryan. Wow, we haven't touched on him. It was almost like he's been gone, but it's only been 2 months, but we haven't seen him since the last endurance race back in May. He missed GP and he missed endurance race in June just due to life circumstances, so it's great to have him back. And we also have Mark Davis on board as well, so he's operating the number 9 machine. And we already were on board with Jameson on the number 17, who is also qualifying. So we'll get some times up here on the board. Look at all 12 drivers as they're going to round the timing line and get their first laps going. Again, 5 laps, not necessarily a lot of time, but that's what we like here in the Endurance Series. You try to figure out your best line you can, but the biggest thing is to be consistent in a 30-minute race. And most importantly, we've got the outdoor open today. It's a, mid-80 degree day?
Mm-hmm.
Great to have that, as always. And thanks to Zach for running the camera. And we've got Drew back on camera 1. Yay, Drew. He'll probably... Did he pop his head around? No. There he did. Why?
Mark Davis already at a 40.062. Fastest so far.
Mark ran a practice session earlier today, right before we went on air, and he was in the 39s, which is not typically his race pace. Yeah. So I'm anxious to see whether he has picked up something in these cars recently. He's been doing a lot of practice recently and a lot of laps being led, and so hopefully he's driving those times down.
That's good. Yeah, because he's been working his time down from where he started, and, I mean, relatively, he hasn't been coming that long. So it's good to see him get into the groove and get really competitive.
Yeah, pretty much since the beginning of the year. Tyler Covell, he slipped in there. I didn't know we were going to have him in this race. He's running 39.8, his fastest lap so far. And we do have 2 Tristans. Sorry, I had the lower third for Tristan McCauley confused with Tristan McCann. So 2 Tristans on this. There's his onboard shot as he rounds the indoor section. Yeah. Typically, anybody in the 39-second lap time is doing a pro-level lap time. We were seeing 38s the other night.
Yeah.
We were running for an entire hour. It can happen. A little more unusual.
Yeah, and the comments from all the drivers unanimously has been how close the karts are. Like, it's so important qualifying and then maintaining your position. It's hard to make up, on other tracks than that. Yeah, I've seen karts that are super fast and super slow. It's really hard to make up a couple second gap anymore. So you've got to stay very competitive. Qualifying is very, very important.
Yeah, because we basically saw Marshall check out from the field the other night, even though he had a 5-second penalty during the race, which he alluded to during his interview. He still, checked out over the course of an hour, and it's really hard to make up a 6-second gap from the rest of the field.
Awesome. We got a hello from Kart Chaser Roblox Championship. Huh. Cool. I don't know if that's Roblox or...
Well, if that's from Kart Chaser, if that's the Kart Chaser, glad to have you guys along.
Yeah.
You guys are the pinnacle for live streaming go-karts or gas go-karts.
Gas go-karts, yeah. We're working our way up there. One race at a time for electric.
Just in a different field.
Yep.
There's a 26 machine now rounding the corner. There's Tristan. Tristan, like we talked about at the top of the show, he was he's in your rookie points battle as checkered flag is going to fly, and Tyler is still maintaining his spot up there with the 39.6 second lap time. Giovanni also impressive in the 39s. Oh, Tristan also going to best it. Look at that 39.4, a couple of tenths underneath Tyler's time. They're all going to round the start-finish line for the last time. Then they get an opportunity to practice their electronic pit stops. You may see some drivers come in and out of the pits just to practice. Some of them may come in and park if they're veterans and they don't need to practice any longer. But if they're new drivers tonight, we want them to get used to coming into the pits, getting the car electronically slowed down, and then re-accelerated back out of the field. If we see one of those cars, we'll point it out to you so we explain how that process runs. Or they could just run another lap.
Sometimes. Tyler Covell wrapping it up with a 39.44. Good time.
Yeah, he did jump in there at the very last second. So
last lap burner.
Let's follow over to the pits. We got cars coming in there, Drew. Who is that? Tristan. Yeah, he's definitely excited about that time. or he's very frustrated. I can't tell.
I think he's excited.
He's excited.
That's
yeah.
excitement.
That's a good lap time for him.
Yeah, 39s will get you really competitive in the top group. But it's all about that 30-minute race. Qualifying is, some people prefer qualifying because there's not so much defensive action going on.
Yeah. But it just makes it less interesting for us because we have to watch lap times all the time.
I know, yeah. There's not so much you can make exciting about qualifying besides, someone running crazy numbers or, super close times. We have had identical lap times here a couple of times, actually.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to see.
It's kind of rare, but I'm kind of surprised at how often it happens, given the fact that we go down to 3 decimal places.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking down the list there, Mike Davis did end up in 6th spot in the 42nd range, and we got in the 8th spot Raymond, which I'm sure he's got some fans in the chat. Raymond finished basically, was he 11th position on last round, but that was his first time. So basically this is his second round of the Endurance Series. Glad to have him back. And then I see a couple of new names down there, Aiden, Brady, and Jameson, setting their lap times in the 41s and 43s and 44s.
Not bad. Just starting out, those lap times will come down during the race, I'm sure. We've seen it happen where people have lost 2-3 seconds in the main just by staying on track for so long, and you get an opportunity to run with people that are faster than you and just learn their line.
Exactly. So hopefully we got the second round of qualifiers ready to go. I see them sitting over there in lane number 1. They'll be next to go out to run their 5-lap qualifier. I don't know, anything else new and exciting to mention in between our sessions here?
How has you've been working hard on dialing the carts in? Like I said, going back to what I've heard a lot of feedback from drivers is the carts have gotten closer and closer and closer over the past several months. It's been a noticeable difference. What have you been doing on the backside of that?
Well, we hope so. So the idea with the electric system is to try to get them tuned to be the exact same time from a start to a finish line. And I developed that system just because a lot of indoor places use lap times, and I think there's too many variables involved in that. So you have a driver, you've got weather conditions, and you've got 13 turns that you have to worry about. So if you got one driver who's like the driver who sets all the lap times, there's a lot of variability in that. So I didn't like that approach to making the cars consistent. So
makes sense.
What I did is just developed a system where we basically started a start line, and then we have a finish line, and we do a 0 to whatever speed it is, and then we time the car between those 2 points, and then adjust the motor accordingly. So we've been doing that ever since the 12 hours, and it really took a long time to get to the point where I knew where all the cars were, because we had to test all 36 cars, and I had to do multiple runs to get the best average. I wanted to make sure the test was consistent. So that's like a month and a half of time right there. Once we had a baseline, then we took those core cars and we adjusted the cars that were around them. So I didn't want to move the whole field faster and didn't want to move the whole field slower, because you got to arrive and drive people who would be like, hey, I used to run 40-second lap times, now I'm running 44s. That doesn't make sense. So we had to basically compile all the data and say, where is our median? And then we bring some of the cars up, some of the cars down. And it seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've found, and this is part of the process of evolving this, is that there was something around the change of seasons that kind of screwed everything up.
Really?
Yeah. So
track temperature?
It was almost like environment temperature. So if you're in chat, you know a lot about electric motors or something, feel free to chime in here. But when the weather turned warm, it wasn't, because we've had warm track days before. It didn't seem to matter. But when ambient temperature wasn't warm enough where the car sat overnight and the motors were all warm in the morning when I usually do the testing, we start seeing a drastic variation in this.
So faster and slower. So it's not that they all got faster from the hotter ambient.
They were all consistently slower.
Really?
Yeah, they were.
Huh.
So I thought, in my mind, the electromagnetic is actually easier to spin in warm weather, but something affected that. So we've been tracking that through the last few months. It's not a perfect system. I know it doesn't test everything in the car, but it really gives us an idea of, are the brakes dragging too much? Is there a bearing problem? Is there something in the motor? Is the battery outputting the correct voltage? It gives us those points of the car as consistent as possible.
Huh. Cool. Well, there's some information for you guys as we start the second qualifier here. We've got a packed group on board with Katie Wise. I know we saw Dominic D'Angelo on board too when we were first talking. David Ponce, and now this is Katie Wise. We've also got
Rachel Hart.
Rachel Hart.
And who else we got?
Marshall Miller, I think is the last one.
Marshall Miller, and we didn't touch on Dom. Yes, we got Marshall's helmet there, and Dom D'Angelo.
There you go, chat. We got Doms on board for you guys. And PF Racing said tire temps, question mark.
On board with Dom, yes, exactly. There you go. We matched it up perfectly. Yeah, tire temps was a consideration. However, the data didn't show that they were that inconsistent. We actually run a TPS monitoring system here that shows us all the cars, so we adjust those almost every morning, and we did not see anything that that led us to believe the tires were significantly different that was causing that time problem.
Good guess. Yeah, drop it in the chat with what you guys think.
Yeah, good thought, though. Rachel Hart jumping to the top of the leaderboards, followed by Dom D'Angelo. And then there goes Marshall Miller as he hits purple as well.
39-1.
Yep. Already borderlining there. We're going to follow outside. This is going to be car number 12, and that is Brandon Kovac. The one who is up there in the points for our rookie standings. He's going to round the carousel, come inside, and hit the timing line. We'll see where he rounds out. Nope, off to your right there, Drew. There we go. There's Brandon.
Not too bad. 40 flat, so 40.043. 5 laps in these karts for a lot of these drivers getting used to it is, you know, they do the best they possibly can in what they have and just go with it.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time to adjust.
Now, everybody in the 40s, though. Slowest time, Artemis, 40.973.
We'll follow inside the car number 14. We got Sean Horgan. He's actually the leader of your rookie standings currently. He keeps switching helmets on us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure last month he was running a silver helmet. Today it's white and red with the GoPro. So maybe he's got some new equipment. I don't know.
Marshall Miller again bests his time at a 39.008. David Ponce, Dominic D'Angelo, Rachel Hart all traveling behind in the 39.1 to 2 area.
So far, they're all lining up the way they are in the point standings, with the exception of David. I mean, he's run a couple endurance races, but not all of them. So his point standings is a little off from everybody else.
Yeah, when I asked him, hey, good to see you. What are you doing tonight? And he's like, having fun.
Good.
Very David Ponce response.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try something with David tonight to add to the stream. We'll see if it works. We're actually going to try to see if we can talk to him during the race.
Oh, yeah, we talked about doing that. Lisa Miller, go Marshall. That's right, Marshall on top so far. Can anybody beat him?
That's always the question.
38-8. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it was really surprising results for him in round number 4 last month because he finished so far back. Let's see, he finished, well, technically, he came across the timeline as 3rd, but if you remember, he actually let Dom pass him because he didn't think he had a good pass on him.
There's going to be 10 people in 11 people in each heat for the final, right?
I think 11 and 12.
So you're going to have to be in the 39s at this point. You're going to have to be deep in the 39s.
Yeah, based on that result, yes.
To get the A main.
Yep.
And that is the final. Marshall Miller with a 38.8.
Katie and PJ qualifying right next to each other. Look how close those times are. They're 8.76 and 8.85. What's David up to over here? He was...
Stop in the pits.
Oh, he's saying which lane do I go into? We'll see if he does his drive-through practice.
Is that mandatory now, or is that open for drivers to take if they want?
Well, I mentioned to Adam, that they should have everybody practice, but he said the veterans don't have to practice, so maybe that's part of the confusion.
Gotcha.
He's asking if he should go back out. Meanwhile, Dom's just rolling through the pit lane. He's just going to re-exit. Right along with a free lap from Dom. Well, watch him go around the outside. I don't know if he's going to do this at full chat or not, but I just want you to notice when he finishes the outdoor, the trickiness of getting that pit entry correct, because you have this big contrast between daylight and going in the garage door, and boom, there it is. there's your pit entrance, and then there's your timing line to slow down.
During the race, watching the drivers, signal to go into the pits when they're in a pack of people is always kind of fun to watch.
Because especially when they enter the pits, and some drivers let off the throttle, so it decelerates them faster, whereas the other more experienced drivers are used to just staying on the throttle the entire time because it's going to electronically slow them down, so they just keep their foot down to the floor in the meantime.
Are we running B main first and then A main?
Yeah, should run B main, yeah. We'll let you know as soon as I get those times sorted out.
Owen working on getting the carts charged. Big thanks to all the track workers out there. They are a huge part of why this goes as well as it does.
Absolutely. We looked at the batteries after the pro endurance race the other night, and you were asking me on the radio, how do the batteries look? They do 2 pit stops during an hour, so they're running. What did Armand run? It's 25 minute.
Yeah, 25, 30 minute race or stint.
And when he got done, I checked the battery telemetry, and it was showing 51% full. So still very impressed with these batteries. We've had them ever since after the 12 hours, which we wanted them for the 12 hours. We have it after the 12 hours. And they're still performing very well. Most of the batteries have about 100 cycles on them, and they're all performing very well. We check up on the telemetry every once in a while. We have the computers on the back of the cars that wirelessly transmits that information, and we can tell how they balance at night, what their voltages are doing, and they've just been spot on. So
that's good to hear. It makes running the longer, bigger races, the 6 hours, the 12 hours, a lot more comfortable, I guess, for the karts as far as that goes. And the teams love it too, because the teams get live telemetry of the karts, so they know when to pit and everything. But when they know that they can run a kart for 35, 40 minutes on track, they are very happy with that. And the karts are so consistent, 35, 40 minutes across the board. You don't get some that are super long and some that are super short.
The 6 hours will be the first time running these batteries in a super long endurance race. It'll be interesting to see how those pit strategies play out, because the teams in the 12 hours knew when you got to the 2.8 volts on your lowest cell that you were pretty much done. We'll have to figure out what the thresholds are going to be, actually, because I don't think that's going to be the absolute key for them. It's going to be a little trickier, and they're going to be able to run a little longer. So I'm kind of anticipating at this point, without knowing too much, that they're going to try to run longer and longer stints.
I would imagine that's correct. I mean, if you think about the evolution of the 12 hours and just creating a race, an endurance race for electric karts is kind of crazy, but the teams in the first one, they had to watch battery temperatures, they had to watch cell voltages, they had to watch all this stuff. And now with the updated newest generation of the batteries, you're basically just watching for that threshold of when to pit. It's made it really nice.
Yeah, temperatures. Gosh.
We had full-blown fans. I mean, go back and watch the 12 hours. It's the track staff, the guys in the pits with the fans and opening the hoods of the karts and everything.
Yeah.
It was everything we could do. But the new batteries, I mean, look at this, 23 degrees Celsius. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's on kart number 9. Was that just on track? No, it was probably the previous one. But that's the kind of information that Ability Business helped us get, and we aggregate it over to a website. It gives us a dashboard of every single car in the fleet. Pretty cool. Very, very helpful information for operations standpoint. We just got the sorted order. Katie Wise is going to be the top of the B main.
Fastest of the slows.
Followed by Joseph Valentine, Mark Davis, Garrett Hagerman, and Raymond Barros. So we'll have those guys on track first. Drew, if you want to pan up to the left-hand side, we'll just explain the pit stops real quick. You have timers. There's going to be 2 timers up on this screen. The first person that comes into the pits is going to trigger pit stop 1, and you have 25 seconds to, the time starts when your car stops. You have 25 seconds to get out of your car, get in the other car, buckle your seat belt, and turn the car on, which on most average drivers takes about 20 seconds. So you have a plenty of buffer there. If a second car comes in, pit stop timer 2 is activated when it stops. And then if the third person comes in, you have to wait for pit stop 1 to be reactivated. We only allow 2 timed pit stops at a given time. So that's what the drivers are going to be looking at. We'll try to have those on screen as well during the race. So when you see those pop up and down, that just means there's somebody in the pits.
Yeah, it makes it super fair. I remember the days when we didn't have that, and it's like, some people maneuver themselves easier from one kart to another in whatever circumstance it is. So it makes it just that much better to know, as a driver, you're able to look at that right there and say, this is when I have to leave.
And you're not going to be disadvantaged if you have a hard time getting out of a car, basically.
Right.
Because the Endurance Series used to be single charge, try to make it 85 laps, good luck, and have fun. But when we introduced the pit stops, because we didn't have enough reliable batteries to make it work, that's where we had to introduce the pit stop timer. And I think it works pretty well.
Yeah.
Got some drivers along the fence line. You got Tyler with the hat. You got David. Katie's shaking her head. No. Go it on a roll. Vroom, vroom. Hey, that's not in our hands. That's the pit stops. Or that's the pit guy. So.
So for Spanish-speaking audience out there, that is for Raymond.
Cool.
Cousin.
Is there a translate button on that?
Yeah. No, they love Raymond Raymond Burros. They're from Ecuador.
Nice.
And that's from your with love from your cousin.
Thanks for following, guys.
What do we got? So, as we wait here, we waiting on carts charging, or?
I think they're doing cart number assignments.
Oh, so we'll get to the randomizer, and do the racers know what heat they're in yet? Or have we announced it and they don't know yet?
Is Adam over there in the pits? Pan over there to the left. Adam, does everybody know yet? Oh, no, it's Jacob. No, they don't know. Okay,
No?
he's going to
Okay.
announce it right now. So.
Ah,
Drum roll.
right. Well, if they're watching the stream, they know.
Now, Drew, don't get too close. You don't want to give out top secret information here.
Battery telemetry. That was actually a really cool screen. That's what the drivers get to see
Yeah.
in the endurance races,
Actually, all the red on that screen is just showing you that tire temps are warm. So,
which is a good thing.
yeah.
You want to see red in that.
Yep. Yeah, because that gauge is for idle, like for our inspections in the mornings. It's not meant for racing conditions. So it turns red on purpose. Don't be alarmed.
Shout out from Rachel Hart. Thanks for doing this stream. As always, it's awesome.
Look at that cool user profile icon.
I recognize that.
Her out at K1 Speed Circuit.
That was a good time.
I don't think we have broadcast since we were out at Circuit.
No, we haven't even really talked about it.
No. So it went really well.
Yeah.
We joked around a little bit about some difficulties in the first year and stuff, but mad props to the K1 crew who made that event work really well this year.
That was fantastic.
It really was. Of course, there were mishaps and disagreements and racing type of stuff.
It's racing.
Yeah, it's racing.
That's racing.
And I'm thinking about you, Leighton, but
yeah.
who may not agree with but whatever. That's racing as a whole. Good job for the facilities, the carts, the preparation, the organization. We thought the schedule was pretty optimistic as far as what they were going to get done in a day, but they ran 1 hour behind schedule. That was it.
That's impressive for
Yeah.
running the teen worlds or the teen nationals, then teen worlds, then adults
Yep.
nationals, and then worlds. That was a great event.
I know everyone's chomping at the bit to get out to K1 Circuit, as we are, because it's just going to be a great facility to push the next generation of electric go-karting. So we know electric works well indoors. Okay, now how do we get that to adopt to the next phase? How do you get it in the hands of drivers who are used to gas carts, who live in the outdoor world? How do you get them exposure to it? Well, you build a track, I guess.
Build a track and the karts. I mean, wait till you guys see the comp kart that they have, the actual competition electric kart. It is a definite piece of machinery. And it's really cool.
And something really cool they announced while we were out there, so it should be all public information, is that the American E-Kart Championship is now going to be a mobile championship. They plan on taking the cars to existing gas kart tracks, most of which across the East Coast, which is cool for us, and basically making an arrive and drive weekend event out of it, and then creating multiple locations with a championship involved.
Yeah,
So,
and you can
that was
buy
cool.
one of the carts, you can lease one of the carts, or you can show up and drive the cart in the series. So that's a really cool thing.
It is, because we've talked about how do you make the next step. You know, gas has been around forever, and it's a very established system. Now, how do you get electric into the hands of the tracks and the drivers so they get to experience it and decide whether they want that to be the next generation of go-karting?
Yeah, I think it is. After driving both, it's really, there are benefits to the electric side of karting, of racing, of all that stuff. Instantaneous torque. I mean, did you see Woodward at all? The Woodward Classic?
I didn't.
So the Red Bull EV van, it's looks like an old Astro van, but it was all electric, and
Okay.
it won by like a second. It was insanely fast. So there are benefits to it when you're talking about racing and, you know, all that stuff. The driving and emissions, all that aside, I think the racing part of this, once people that are serious racers kind of get competitive electric racing equipment, whether it be a kart, a car, a bike, anything, once they get their hands on it, you slowly earn a soft spot for it. You know, as diehard as I am about gas motors, there is a huge soft spot for this.
Slowly, I think was the key word there.
Yeah. I mean, because it does nothing but put a smile on your face. Do you remember the first time you drove their comp kart? I mean, you come out of it and you're like, oh, what is this?
Yeah,
like, it's so fast.
It was a whole different world, because you're driving a go-kart that's already low to the ground, but you're doing it on an outdoor circuit, which you typically only get to do with gas, but you get that instant torque, is what you said, and it's pretty cool.
And it's really quiet.
Yeah. The big question mark is, how will the infrastructure around this make it possible?
Definitely.
How are you going to do batteries? They're obviously expensive. How long will they last? And then how do you get existing tracks to put those systems in so that you don't necessarily have to bring a generator to the track, although I think that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is actually going to be the next generation, I mean, you'll eventually, I would see tracks having their own chargers there.
Definitely.
So you got to have some sort of standard, kind of like the Tesla charger model.
Yeah, and it's a long evolution in all of this. And I think as far as EV, if anybody's paying attention to the sales of cars right now, EV cars sales are down and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to have a bearing at all on the motorsport side, because when you go to buy something to race, you're looking at it from a race perspective, not as I have to drive this every day perspective. So I think there's definitely going to be a soft spot for people once they start driving these things in locations like this, where we take racing extremely seriously. Thank you again to James for doing this kind of stuff, but it just kind of breeds this mentality of, wow, these things are really competitive. It is really fun. There are benefits to it. And it's definitely going to earn its spot in pro motorsports for sure.
And it'll be interesting to see what leaders make that happen, because there's a lot of business investment that has to be made in order to make that next step. So
Huge.
we see that from K1 Speed and excited about it.
Definitely. And OTL Karts. I mean, these are the guys that are putting these things together that take all the abuse. It's fantastic.
So hopefully we got drivers in their karts ready to get on the starting grid so that we can get some racing action for you,
Looks like we're ready to go.
if not pretty close. Thanks for tuning along. You join us on round 5 of the Endurance Karting Championship. This is the B main. We're going to run first.
And I did see in the chat there were multiple asks for a GoPro for Ray, and I do believe we have an onboard for Ray.
Is he the white helmet?
I believe so. Kart 28.
If that's the case, then that's him. So try to make up for last month when we just ignored you guys.
Sorry about that.
I knew what happened. That was when they gave us the super chat. the software glitched, and we didn't see it.
Oh,
So it was when we went back through the replay of like, oh, so sorry, guys. Like,
gotcha.
we didn't mean to ignore a super chat. So,
And if you guys do super chat, it does stay in-house here. It helps us with technology and broadcasting stuff. We do not get to take that home, unfortunately. We put it right into the racing. So feel free. If you do super chat us, we'll make sure that we get a GoPro on your driver.
so Katie Wise is going to lead this group to the field. We're going to circle around one time.
Mark Davis starting in third. I love it. Going to
Yep.
give Katie Wise a run for her money.
Yep. And we got his friend down there, Colin, in the number 4 machine, and then the other Tristan starting in the number 7. I believe Artemis, Aiden, and Brady Jameson, they're all newcomers. So
I was going to say, I don't recognize the names. It's good to
Yeah.
see new faces like that.
well, hopefully we'll see a battle between the 4 of them. That would be great. Or 5 of them, maybe. Yeah.
Usually either A main or B main. When we separate the field like this, one of the mains is usually a pretty contentious race.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 2 months ago we had a pretty good B main, so.
Everybody's scrubbing their tires in, working their way to the front of the field where they will line up 1 through 11, waiting on the green lights. We have track lights all the way around the track here. Helps the drivers. A lot better than having just a single flag guy on the track. You can see it from all locations.
Always worth mentioning that you can follow along on Mark Davis's YouTube channel. Just look up K1 Racer, and you'll be able to see some footage of him running through our series.
That's a good username.
Yeah, I was surprised it was available, actually. He's competing in the teen league. He's got some stickers on the side of his helmet made by Grandpa that signify all the different leagues he runs. And then we got one on board back here with car number 9, which I think he moved a little too far on the starting grid here. We're going to back these guys up. He's going to have to round the corner there to get the 11th spot, so... There we go. There goes Artemis. Then Aiden. We'll just go the wrong way around the track. That's cool. That's okay. You get to do a standing start, maybe for the first time. It's so much better. We've had people comment about doing rolling starts because this is go-karts, and traditionally go-karts do rolling starts. The confined track space just doesn't make that happen very well.
Yeah.
And we just have had too many races not start successfully because of that. So we would rather see it get a clean start and have everybody race on track. So
I personally, I like the standing start. It
yeah,
just,
I do too.
I don't know. Turn 1, especially on this track, turn 1 is so fun from a standing start.
Yeah, it's just a 180. That's all.
Yeah, I mean,
Braking zone.
The Pro Endurance and going off the lights are so fair because they all instantaneously change. So even if you're starting back in the carousel, you can still see the green. And we saw it in the Pro Endurance where the pole sitter just was sleeping on the light. And
Yep, we did.
Katie.
Katie, your hands go on the steering wheel, just so you know. It is a timed race. White flag flies the expiration of time. There'll be one lap after the white flag. Timer will only stop for mechanical failures, kart swaps, things of that nature. So we'll be looking for Adam at the new pit box over here to lead him to the green.
Randomized green light, and we're off.
Off they go.
They had speed 2 for a second, so Adam corrected that right away, and we're off.
Katie off to a good start, leading the field. You got 2 drivers side by side rounding into turn number 2. Let's see if they sort it out. Yeah, you got some guys in cold tires that are kind of throwing up their hands and throwing the back end of the car around as they all round the outside and follow in lap number 1 in the B main.
Katie with a pretty good gap so far, but everybody neck and neck.
Yeah, you got Katie in the lead, you got Joseph, and then followed by Mark Davis in the number 7. You can see Katie scooting the car around the turn number 1. Usually the first lap, 2 laps it takes to warm up the rear tires before you get good grip.
A little bump, little shove, good move, cuts them out in turn 2. I don't know.
They're going to go side by side into turn 4. We've seen this over and over again. What is this going to do for Tristan?
4. Yeah, Colin and Tristan getting into it.
Oh, these are the leaders outdoors.
We'll see what happens when they come into the chicane then.
Yep, let's watch them in the chicane.
Back and forth. Tristan still able to hold him off.
Oh, we got somebody who's already going to pit, I believe.
That's Katie.
That is Katie, yes.
Yeah. I saw them. Her and PJ did this in the last race. Pitted really early.
A couple races ago, they did, yeah. So we'll have pit stops timer number 1 start as soon as she stops her car. She can jump out and move over. She is the lead car, although Raymond just set fastest lap of the race so far. Everybody in the 40 seconds. As we follow on board with Mark Davis.
Coming into that outside switchback. Look pretty clean.
Yeah, it's going to free them up to not be held up by Katie. We always kind of joke about her being the bull and not wanting anybody to pass, but this is going to give them open track space.
Depending on where she comes out, I see her moving in the pit right there on the left.
Oh, yeah, that's actually going to... Let's pan over to the left here. Where did Katie come out?
She's...
right in the middle of the pack. Well, there she is. The 33?
Yep.
Yes, Katie Wise.
So she came out right behind that group.
So this will give Joseph clear track space and an opportunity for Mark to chase him down. And we're going to have another pit stopper. That's going to be Mark Davis. Both him and Katie on the same similar pit stop strategy.
Yeah, so number 1, number 2 qualifying, pitting early.
Katie has a couple cars. Yeah, she's a few car lengths in front. She doesn't have exactly clear track space, but nobody holding her up at the moment. As this is going to be the timer for Mark Davis in the pits.
We'll see where he comes out because Katie's pit stop put her right behind that group. So it looks like Mark would come out right behind Katie then.
Yeah, I believe she's following behind the white helmet of the, is that the 33 up there?
Yep. And we just had another one we saw on the GoPro duck into the pits there. That'd be the yellow shirt of...
Let's see who's coming into the pits.
18. So that's Garrett.
We have seen the early pit stops pay off in a lot of cases. Just an opportunity to not have to basically warm up the kart twice in a row. Basically ditch that kart early and try to make it all on one lap.
Looks like Mark Davis has got his hands full here.
He's coming around the into the inside.
Raymond all over his bumper outside on the outside switchback.
That's the number 25 of Artemis. Is it 25? 23. Let's try to figure out who that is. Right behind
23,
him is,
yeah.
Right behind him is Katie, so. So basically, Garrett, Mark, and Katie all on alternate pit strategies. Well, I say alternate, but just early pit strategies. We call this section the carousel. That's the one that Mark is going around. That's the back up to the front straightaway. We'll number the turns for you so you know which ones that we're talking about throughout the race. This is turn number 1. It's a 180. Turn number 2 is a big lift. It's the slowest corner on the field. You got turn number 3, which sets you up for the kink in turn number 4. leading on to the back straightaway, which is flat out all the way around. As long as you can hold it and keep track space, let's follow that outdoor camera. Let's follow the mark here. And then a lot of cases, feather the throttle, going through turns 6, 7, and 8.
And he's tapping out. Katie was all over his bumper, so he's like, I'm going to take my pit stop now.
Yeah, another early pit stop.
Katie's going to run right up to the back of Mark Davis there.
So it's basically going to give clear track space to Mark now, running in the number 34.
Yeah, he's got clear track space, but right behind him, we have Katie, and she is closer in some spots, some parts of the track than she is others.
Yeah, we'll see what she can give chase to. Joseph's still on the top of the leaderboard. He is not pitted as well as basically the rest of the half of the field as he goes into the 39s. Purple, the fastest lap of the race. Katie's going to look on the inside of turn 1. She is going to give him a little bit of bumper as she pushes her way through turn 2 with the bull making her mark. On to turn number 3. Let's see what that gap looks like as she rounds number 4, and she's definitely got that move before they head outside. Sometimes the drivers have to lift a little bit going through this corner because the car picks up so much speed and the front end starts to chatter on them a little bit, so you'll see a little bit of throttle manipulation as they go through the straightaway. Sometimes it's just not flat out the whole way. Marshall Miller says, guess what, guys? I don't know. What are we guessing? What are we guessing, Marshall? What's wrong?
Looks like Raymond and, oh, look at that, 3 wide. So Katie, able to close it. Mark got past with that too, I think. Or is that?
Yeah, that was Mark who made his way by.
Passing the number.
The number 9 right there. Number 9 at Jameson.
26.
Joseph setting another purple, 39.6.
Lonely out front.
Jameson running a little wide in the carousel. That's where he's losing some time. That's okay. This is gonna give him lots of opportunities to learn the track.
On board with Raymond, popular in the chat tonight. Looking at the back of, that would be Mark Davis. Everybody's having fun in the chat tonight.
That's what we were supposed to guess, Marshall.
Yeah. Raymond able to close that gap up. Looks like he's going to, I don't know. He is looking good in comparison in some spots of the track, but we'll see if he's able to close that gap a little bit.
Both drivers going a little wide in the carousel. I think you'll see in the A-main later that most of those drivers hold that a little closer to try to minimize their track space. But so far, these guys are both being consistent about it. Running a little wide in turn 3. Trying to carry as much momentum as they can through 4, because obviously you don't want to lose momentum as you head outside in this long straightaway.
Yeah, coming out of this turn, you have so much speed. It's kind of easy. Like Raymond's kind of looking at it too, where it's you want to outbrake the guy, but you run out of room. You still have to brake quite a bit.
Well, we saw a maneuver in that corner last race. That was how Rachel got past Dominic. And we also saw that in this past month's GP. That is how David got past Marshall, and the last lap of the race was out there in the end of that outdoor straightaway.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for pass. If you're the leader, you really have to be defensive and be careful about what you're allowing the car behind you to do, as Raymond is getting really close to the bumper of the number 34.
Yeah, if he was any closer, he'd be looking for a move right now, but I don't think he can close that gap just yet, as we've got the kart 36 crawling up him now. Garrett's in that mix.
Yeah, you got 3 cars here.
They're all chasing Katie right in front of this group. That's Katie Wise going into turn 2, turn 3.
Yep. Garrett, a newer driver to the circuit. He's basically run this thing, I don't know, a dozen times maybe, because we got another pit stopper here.
We've got 2, one in the back coming in as well.
Yeah, and they were they're being led by the quote-unquote veteran Mark Davis with the number of races. And, you got...
That's that move I was talking about when you're trying to outbrake someone. Don't use them as your brakes.
Yeah. It's easy to pick out Garrett because of the yellow shirt, right? That is the number 36.
Yes. And then Raymond with the all-white helmet with the gold visor. That's how I'm remembering him.
Joseph setting down a 39.4. Boy, I bet he wishes he had those times in qualifying.
Yeah, it pretty much is a qualifier for him right now. He's one of the few that hasn't pitted yet, though. If you look at the leaderboard, everybody that is on lap 13 has already pit.
So we've only got 4 that haven't so far. We're just keeping our eye on these 3 guys right here.
That would appear to be the battle. Once it all kind of shakes out, we're going to be looking at Jameson, Katie, Mark, and Raymond.
And let's, not counting out Joseph because he's been setting some good lap times. So now that he's stayed out,
that's very true.
Yeah, what's he going to do for a potential overcut?
We've seen Marshall do that, so it can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Check back here on Colin. He's currently in the number 9 spot, but he's got lots of clear track space in front of him. Joseph again going purple. He just keeps improving on those lap times. He's probably going to hold on to that car as long as possible, I would imagine. Katie Wise now on the back of the 26. She's going to give him a little bit of a bump, and who's going to be able to make it to the apex on the outside? She's definitely got more momentum going through there.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy move.
There, well, she was off to the right. Sorry, she followed.
Just cruising now. Nothing but clear real estate ahead.
Yeah, so it's really shaping up to see where are we going to see Joseph. Where is the number 5 in this whole mix? Oh, he just pitted. Okay, so Joseph is being switched over to the number 30. He's shown as the leader. It'd be very interesting to see where he sorts out. He didn't make it exactly halfway through the race yet. Still 17 minutes remaining. He's going to flip the car on, and he has the opportunity to leave.
Where does he come out? Artemis crosses the line.
And let's see where they sort out. He's going to electronically re-speed up right across that timing line. And was that Raymond in the bottom of the screen there?
There's Katie. So Raymond is 2 karts back.
So it looks like he has leapfrogged them. Looks like he got out well ahead of Katie.
Wow. That's a good strategy.
We're going to have a pit stop here for
the number 9 of...
Well, it's not going to be the number 8, so it'll be Jameson.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I forgot to put the pit stop timer on there as a... And he's re-go. Everybody's been having good pit stops so far. We've seen in the B main, sometimes they have a problem with getting the car turned on, and sometimes they have a little bit of a hesitation, but everybody doing very well on those pit stops tonight.
Yeah, so as the leaderboard shook itself out, Joseph did pop up ahead of Katie. So just Artemis and Brady are the last 2 to pit.
Which essentially will make Raymond in 3rd after potentially Artemis and Brady pitting. We'll see what the gap is. But they've been maintaining about 40-second lap time, so...
Yeah, here's that group. Oh! Mark getting the wrong side of the brakes on that. As they're going too wide back into the doors.
Garrett using him as his stopper in the braking zone. That's going to cost him a little bit of ground. You see he's now got about 2.5 car lengths between the 2 of them. Mark's going to look on the inside, but okay. He's going to make a clean pass. I was kind of worried about how aggressively he was going to go into turn 1 there. Everything looks good and smooth.
And that's Jameson, so they're actually lapping him. So that's why he was jumping out of the way. Lap traffic always causes some potential switch-ups. If you're in a big pack of cars and you come up to a lapper, it just stacks the field up and makes it a little bit more interesting to get around.
It sounds like we got some action from off the track. I hear a car revving up outside. We'll follow along with Mark Davis. So now the question is going to be, where do we see pit stops from Artemis and Brady?
Yeah, with about 14 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Still a long time in the race. A lot of stuff can still happen. As we have one coming in the pits, I see off screen.
Yeah, so you got Garrett, who's right on the tail of Mark Davis. He's definitely got some heat down there. Oh, he's going to take a look on the inside, going indoors. Let's check the indoor. Nope, he wasn't able to make that pass. He's going to maintain the heat. Let's stay with on-track action here.
Oof.
You're looking at the 6th and 7th position currently between Mark and Garrett. Garrett being in the yellow shirt, the number 36. Let's see what they've got outdoors. Garrett had a good run on Mark last time. If he gets that opportunity again, he'll be definitely sticking his nose in there. This is where Mark has to be really defensive on that inside line. Good job with that, holding it nice and tight. It's easy to get that car sideways when you go through that corner, and he did a good job of holding that tight.
Nose to tail there. Mark having to run a little bit slower of a line, you see, is defensive, but so far both of them doing really well.
Yeah, they are. It's a beautiful evening here in Canton, Ohio. Sun's starting to set on the outdoor track. Good track temperature, I would assume. We've some days when it gets super hot, it becomes greasy. Today, good amount of track grip out there. Nice and cool inside as the cars traverse in and outdoors every single lap.
Yeah, so after that...
Oh, is he going to look on the inside? Yes, he's going to get a little sideways, a little squarely, but he made a clean pass.
That was a good pass.
Making sure that Mark doesn't have a window of opportunity in turn 2 or 3, and he keeps it closed as they round turn number 4.
Yeah, so after that pit stop, Artemis slots down in 9th. Joseph Valentine, again with the fastest lap of the race at a 39.2.
He's been on fire during this race.
Yes, he has.
I don't know if anybody else has set purple laps besides him.
And we've got our last pit stop. Brady coming in now, I see off screen, which slots Joseph up to first place.
Oh, saw a little bit of bump there with Jameson as they were going to the front straightaway, but quickly sorted itself out.
Yep.
So now we've officially sorted Joseph to the lead. We got Katie in second. She was the pole sitter in this B main, then followed by Raymond and Garrett, who have been hard at work this entire race.
What is the gap to first to second right now? So we've got Katie, and then I think that was Joseph entering in the doors.
I do know, because we've got on board with Mark, that we can see these guys staying relatively close to each other.
Yeah, that's going to be a fight. There's still 10 minutes, 11 minutes to go in the race, so there's a lot of racing still to go, and you get tired at this point, too. So
we got the top 4 all setting 39-second lap times last time around. Mark kind of ping-balling off of turn 1. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. I just saw Raymond here exercising his hand on the long straightaway. 20 minutes in these cars is fatiguing.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that come out and run, a couple races, buy the 3-race pack, and they do 2 races, and they're like, oh my God, I can't imagine running these things for, this long. And it's like, well, yeah, we do endurance races. What?
Yeah, it's a stark contrast. If you tell people it's a 30-minute race, oh, no big deal. If they just got off the track, it's a whole different story.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to come check it out.
He's looking on the back of Aiden in the 9th position. This is not for position right now, but you're following on board with number 3, Raymond.
In the 3rd position. Kart 3. There you go. Nice clean pass. Lap traffic. No big deal.
Oh, he's still going to push him wide, coming outside into the corner. Through the garage door, hitting the bump. The smoothest way through that garage door is on the right and left side. The worst and the most abrupt is down the center.
There we go. Squeeze him out a little bit. Raymond on the inside. This is where you want to be for turn 1.
Yep, he's going to be half a car length on him, so he'll get that. We'll check overhead, and he'll be fully by him that time. It looks like Garrett is also looking to try to get past lap traffic there.
Yep.
He doesn't want to be held up too much because he knows Mark is right behind him.
Looks on the inside. That's good. Nope. Not yet.
Jameson's going to give him just a little bit of room. There we go. Oh, they're going to go completely sideways through turn 1. That actually kind of is an error because of Colin had him that steering wheel turn too tight going through turn 1. And he was just aided by the bump. What did you think, Jason?
Yeah, that's racing.
Yeah, that was...
That's the wrong place, wrong time.
He kind of got sideways first, I believe, and then got bumped by Mark.
I think I've been in a very similar situation to that, actually, come to think of it. Turn 1, spinning someone around.
You don't say. Perhaps in a GP.
Could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's, when you're getting by someone like that, if they turn back in on the apex, there's really nowhere you can go, and that person behind you isn't aware that that's happening, so they just plow into you.
Well, our track workers will review that. If they think that was a bad hit, they will take corrective action. Otherwise, they'll let the race resume.
8 minutes to go. You can still close that gap. That's
absolutely.
Plenty of time.
Yep.
Plenty of time.
I just saw Raymond look on the inside, going through, outside.
He's still looking for Katie up ahead somewhere. I think that's her start-finish line up there, yeah. Katie running a 39.8, Raymond running a 39.6 on his last lap, 49 on this current lap with traffic, so he is running a little bit faster than Katie. It is possible.
I'm looking to see the gap from Joseph to Katie.
That's what I was wondering.
Let's check outside. Let's see if we can pick them up. So we got Katie right there,
Katie.
And then Joseph is, well, he's definitely long gone. So where is he on the inside?
That'd be
That's him.
Joseph.
He's rounding 1. So
Wow.
almost a half a track length separating first and second spot. We'll see what Katie comes by right there. Yeah, so that's a significant gap between first and second. That's where he picked up some of those 39-second lap times early in the race to set that gap.
Him staying out on track, his strategy was huge. And that's what I've seen people do. If they're jiving with their kart, and they're going to stay out, they're going to put down some burner times, burn up half a track, and then take your pit stop. That was really good strategy from Joseph.
And a good heads up to identify, hey, I'm doing well in this kart. I know my battery's going to last as long as I need to, so no need to make early pit stops. As he goes 39.2 again.
Again with the fastest time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of saying it, Joseph. That's 10 times today, buddy.
Who knows? By the end of the session, we got 7 minutes remaining. We may see a 38. Yeah, 2/10 maybe?
Yeah, it's possible. 6 minutes left. I mean, you're either getting really tired or you're just in the groove at this point, and you're just on cruise control. Especially, he doesn't have to worry about traffic. He's got half a track. So if he's aware of that and he's just out cruising, then good on you, buddy. Yeah, there's no one. He's got clear real estate.
39.1. He just keeps improving. And he's done it in 2 different cars now. So sometimes people will say, well, that kart was particularly fast. Well, he's proving that he's doing it in 2 times as we pick him up outdoors here. Let's watch the line that he's got. I don't believe we have an outdoor onboard camera with him, but
unfortunately, no.
Let's follow him around the track and let's digest a little bit of this 39.1 second lap time being set in the B main.
He's got a really clean line through the carousel,
which is very beneficial.
Yeah.
That one wasn't as quick, but let's see. If he's lifting into 3, keeping it nice and tight off to the right. Through the kink in 4. Maybe running a little wide, but keeping the momentum. And let's see. Does he lift his pedal at all here? Yeah, he does. He gives it a quick lift. He's got good feel for that car.
Very little braking, I noticed. He lifts early. So he lifts early, kind of coasts in, and just kind of goes with it. I think he's on cruise control. He's just out there having fun.
Absolutely, based on those lap times. Let's see what he's got this time around.
39.4.
Little bit of hop there, but not much. He's controlling it very well. You have to maintain that with your steering wheel through some of your turns. Make sure you're not overdriving the car.
So here's a weird one with Mark Davis's GoPro. fell down a little bit, but it's interesting to see the hand position. I've seen different people drive the kart differently, and you can see him shifting his hands on the wheel like that.
Yeah.
Some people stay directly at the halfway point in the wheel. Joseph, again, I'm not even going to say it. Joseph, you got the fastest lap again, buddy.
Hey, we're rooting for that 38 seconds.
We are.
Oh, I switched the wrong one. Sorry.
That's okay.
There he is. There he's outdoors. We got people from the A main standing there next to David's car, enjoying the summer evening.
I like splitting the groups up. The A main supports the B main, and the B main sticks around for the A main, and it's awesome to see more and more people show up and try this. I mean, even the guys down at the bottom, their times have gotten 2 seconds faster than what they were in qualifying.
Absolutely. Yeah, they were. And very good overall pace for this entire race.
Yeah.
So at this point, Katie is also quote-unquote cruise control. She's just trying to maintain her position. I don't think she has any heat from behind, though. It's basically a desert between first and third, with Katie sitting in the middle. That's a mean-looking visor tonight.
Yeah.
Has she used that one before?
I don't think so. I like that. The reflective silver.
Did she shake her head in answer to our question?
Is she listening to us? Katie, wave your hand if you're listening right now.
Well, we're on at like a 30-second delay, so we'll see here in a second. All right, Katie, you're on camera. You have to wave and turn 1 if you hear us.
I would die if she is. No. She must
probably
not have liked that turn or something.
She might have been in communication with PJ. I think PJ's in the pits.
But then Raymond, so our top 3. So Katie's in second. So we saw Joseph. Joseph, yeah, you're fastest of the race so far. Got it. And then Katie in second. Raymond, is he dealing with anything with Mark Davis behind him? Let's see.
Check up a little bit.
So there's Mark. Raymond's right there. So no, a little bit of a gap. 2 minutes to go. Garrett behind.
Garrett's still trying to close that gap from that mistake in turn 1.
Yeah.
But it is pretty significant still.
We haven't had a change of the field yet, so they must have reviewed that and kind of came to the same conclusion we did.
Yeah.
But everybody pretty spread out. Top 3, top 4, top 5. There's your gap.
Your fan favorite of the night, Raymond.
That's right. Between Mark and Raymond. Raymond, I mean, so this is this his first race or his second race?
Yeah. He was here. Oh, no.
So we might have just had a minor timing issue.
Yeah, the race just stopped.
There was 2 minutes to go. So we might have to manual this one out. I guess we'll go to the overhead shots to make sure that we kind of catch where the field is at, which is pretty spread out.
Everybody well spread out.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be too many position changes in the next 2 minutes, but we'll have to watch and see. Hydra 8054. Go Nanito.
Nanito. Can you give us an English translation for that?
My rusty Spanish is rusty.
We're going to assume that's Raymond. So. Sorry, guys. We're just trying to figure out what's up with the timing here. We'll go ahead and stay on board with Raymond.
Elder brother or sister?
They're going to throw the white flag this time by.
So we are still looking at a pretty spread out field. Joseph, Katie, and Raymond, top 3. With 1 lap to go, we're looking for That'd be Joseph would get the 1 lap to go, and then the official checkered flag.
All right, so we'll follow overhead on our main show as the green flag now waves. We're assuming that Joseph's still leading the field. Terrific lap times from him, as he will presumably take the B main, followed by Katie Wise and Raymond in third. Yeah, it still looks like Mark Davis, Garrett, and Tristan still finishing in that order, based on their helmets, I believe. So unofficially, we'll congratulate Joseph in winning that heat.
There we go.
Oh boy, we got somebody outside.
We've got a Let's Go Garrett, finished in 5th place. Good job, Garrett.
Overall, very impressive with this race. I think the pace was great, and I think it gave each driver an opportunity to
There's the
work on their lap times, as David Pons gives us the celebratory burnout. Ooh, that's a lot better than we had with the cop car a few months ago.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Way more impressive.
I'm sure we'll see that car September 21st. Come out for Motorfest starting at 4 p.m. here at K1 Speed Canton. Lots of fun stuff to happen, including car show. Motorfest, bring it. If it has a motor, I want to see it here.
Overall, clean pit stops as well. We didn't follow all of them, but we didn't have any. I didn't see any major.
No. Really
issues go bad.
His decision to stay out instead of pit right away, and Katie, they were the top 3 pit immediately.
Yeah,
that was crucial.
You want to run down and talk to him?
Yeah, I will run down and grab him. I got to switch some GoPros out too, so I'll be right back. Check 1, 2.
All right, Jason, we got the winner of the B main. We got Garrett. Take it away.
Yeah, so Joseph Valentine.
Joseph, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So congratulations, first place. We were watching upstairs and literally just heard you saying, I don't know. But you staying out and running that kart as long as you did, gapping the field, I mean, that was huge. What did you think of the whole race, and was that planned? What were you thinking?
Obviously, I mean, it was planned, obviously. I'm racing to win. It's in my blood. I've been around it my whole life. I honestly, I didn't think that I would have been around the whole field. Thanks to my friend Tristan McCauley letting me get by and putting down my PR right there with the 39.1. It was awesome, man.
Yeah, I kind of got sick of saying, fastest lap. So I just said, Joseph, you're the fastest. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm done saying it. So lap after lap got better. But so how did you get involved with endurance? This is your first one, right?
Absolutely. Guy over there, David, really pushed me into starting in this and helping me, pursue my racing career with getting involved in it. And he was like, man, you got to come out. And I mean, he showed me a lot, and a big thanks to David. He showed me the good line, man, and I absolutely love it. And I've been working. We were just here on Friday, me and Tristan, running as well with an employee, Tristan, and man, I just putting in a lot of work. I mean, we really did just start doing this league this year, and man, I love it. I'm obsessed with it, so I'm all over it. And this cool guy right here.
Marshall, yeah, of course, everybody trying to keep up with him. I totally get it. But yeah, so 39.1, I mean, if you're putting down that kind of time, your next qualifier going after something like that, you're going to wind up in A-main taking on these guys. So you ready for that, you think?
Absolutely, man. And I mean, I've ran behind Marshall, and I've ran behind David. I've ran behind the top guys. I'm excited to run behind them. I want to be in these, obviously, in this A-main, especially up here with the big dogs. But I'm working my way up there, putting in the work, sleeping, getting good sleep, working, trying to get up here as much as I can. We're about an hour away. But, yeah, man, I'm loving it.
Cool. Congratulations, first place, and I'm sure we'll see you at the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
That is great to hear. That
Way to go, little buddy! Way to go!
Thank you.
Did you
A good coaching effort.
Well, what did he say? He said, "Did you do something? Did you tell him that David was his coach? Is that what he asked him?"
Yeah. So David helped them through a bunch of stuff down here, and
Oh.
they've been working through it. So good to see. That's what we're all about here. That I've always said, the fastest racers will give you every bit of information and knowledge that they have to share. Speaking of one of the fastest, Marshall out here, you're getting prepped, getting ready?
Yeah, music. Woohoo! I'm slow. Don't worry, guys. He's lying.
What are you jamming to tonight?
Not piano music, that's for sure. Usually I do.
Really? Like classical piano music?
Yeah. That's this fuck boy. EDM.
Elevator music.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, good luck to you, man. Starting on pole. See what happens.
What about anybody else from the B main? We got Mark back there on the fence line behind you, off to your right.
Mark, come here, buddy. So
Hopefully he wants to be interviewed, right?
yeah, Mark, you want to be interviewed? Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so pretty good race. What'd you think?
It was fun. I think I needed a little bit more time to pass the guy in front of me, though.
Yeah, the turn one thing kind of messed you up a little bit, and then you had a little bit of a gap, so you're running after him, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely very fun. I feel like if I wouldn't have put off pitting for the first couple laps, I would have got podium somewhere. So, yeah.
What was your pit strategy going into it, and then what did you end up doing?
I wanted to pit like the first lap so I'd have more time to pass people. But then I started closing up the gap of the people in front of me. So that's basically... And then after they started pulling away from me, I pitted.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I know you've been running a GoPro too, so you have been putting a lot of your races on YouTube and that. How's that been going?
It's been going good. So it's hard because sometimes like the GoPro will overheat or run out of batteries. So it just depends on like how hot it is outside or how long the race goes.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We do this whole thing, and I still run into the same problem, so it's a very common thing. But you've been getting better and better. We were talking about it upstairs, your qualifying time and everything. I mean, your times have dropped significantly. Any secrets? I see you smiling. What have you figured out?
Just playing around with your line a little bit in like practice races definitely helps. And that's about it. There's like just playing with your line.
What place on the track, specific turns, do you think you've gained the most time?
One in the carousel back there.
We talk about those two spots all the time on the stream. That's where people lose the most amount of time. And then going into the switchback outside, you feel comfortable with that one? That's a turn that calls a lot of people out.
And it depends on how you enter it. So it's definitely a very hard turn though.
Yeah, definitely. Well, keep up the good work, buddy. Congratulations on tonight, and we'll see you at the next one.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Looks like everybody's getting into their carts down here, so I think we're about ready to roll.
We're going to roll with the A main then.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody ready to go? Everybody's ready. All right, let's hit it.
If you've just joined us, you're at round number 5 of the Endurance League here at K1 Speed Canton. We have lithium batteries, so we decided to do long races. That's what this is all about. Yes, Adam. I don't think the amount of time is going to change that. So we're just discussing the race and why it stopped. We see in our logs that an API stopped it, so it wasn't us. Honestly, guys, it wasn't us. Nobody touched it. Your pole sitter for the A main is Marshall Miller. You got Dominic, David, Rachel, Tyler, and Brandon. Your starting lineup for this next race.
Got that?
Dude, stop messing up my system.
What did I do?
You just took them and you didn't tell me where they were going and who they were putting them on.
I don't know where that mic is sitting. Sorry.
Yeah, we've got it.
Let's see. Thanks for rooting us on during the last race. I don't see any new chats, so if you want to talk to me, now's a good time to fill some dead air. Rachel.
It's still picking up this mic, is what you're saying? Hello, K1 Speed Canton Racers. How are you doing in this fine evening? We got this Endurance League about to go out. Here in a minute, we're about to hit the track with all these Endurance League racers. This is our fast group. I'm too big.
What's he doing?
All right, we're about to go out here in a second.
He didn't even have a headset. He doesn't even know that he's live.
I know. Just tell him to put it down by the podium by the turn one.
Let's bring him on as an announcer.
I know. He can do trackside.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. If the kart chaser guys are still here, they're going to know this guy. I mean, he races.
Owen.
The
Owen.
Owen Mal. Mal?
How do you turn it off? Leave it on, buddy. Keep talking. You're good.
No, I mean,
You sure?
if you're not going to put the cars on track, we're going to be watching you. So
Owen would have a he'd be able to commentate trackside. So that was cool. Talking to
this is good, Drew. Just keep it on him. We'll just follow him around. He doesn't know that the microphone's just inside the windscreen.
I always just leave it down at the podium on turn one, so that way it's just ambient noise.
Well, this is better than ambient noise.
I know, this is Owen noise. He's frozen. Who are we on board with?
Oh, let's see. We got Rachel Hart, Marshall Miller.
Backwards, that's going to be pretty much the shot, I would guess.
Empty track space. I guess we've been surprised before, so we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Number 14, David Pons. Number 12, Giovanni Blackerby. And we have one on Tyler, but not sending signal at the moment, so
I'll fix that.
We mentioned earlier we're actually going to try to talk to David while he's racing.
Yeah.
He said try to pick a good time to do it, and I said, well, I'm going to wait for you to be like side by side with somebody so that we can disrupt your race.
Tyler's is up now. I was going to say right before the green flag. Call him literally as they're lined up.
We could call him like 3 or 4 times, I guess.
Yeah.
He didn't set a limit.
This is Drew up on camera 1.
Yes, Drew.
Did they give you the microphone?
Yes, Owen didn't know what to do with it.
Oh, so you could be like our real trackside.
I can commentate on pit stops. I can see who's coming in, let you know what's going on.
That'd be great.
That's actually perfect.
We need as much help as we can get up here.
I mean, you can stay on track and just like the camera stays on track and then let us know who's coming in the pits so we don't miss a moment.
I just wish I had 3 hands. That would make life a little easier.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Zooming, focusing, and microphoning at the same time.
Maybe we just need to give you a cordless mic.
Hey, that's not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for the development of the stream.
Or Katie, sitting on the stool out there with the red flag for...
She's our red flag marshal?
Yeah. Real trackside announcing. Everybody lined up, ready to go for our A main.
There's your starting order. Ooh. Marshall Miller on pole. I might have mentioned the top 5, including Brandon, was top 6. Tristan making it into the A main tonight. That was what he was excited about with his qualifying time. Then we got Sean Horgan back there leading your rookie championship, followed by Giovanni. Jacob Ryan back in the mix. Maybe a little rusty tonight, but let's see. Can he move up from the back? He was running 39-second lap times when he was here earlier, and it's only been 2 months since he was in a car, so there's a good chance that he might be moving up with the number 35 back there. You can see him in the darker helmet. And then we got Kendrick Campbell, and PJ Manny-Petty back there in the back.
Weird question. So see how the time right now says 27:24?
Yeah.
the last race it was like a minute and something off. Does that have anything to do with why the time stopped?
I don't think so.
If it stops at 3 minutes and whatever seconds in this one, we know. But
No,
I didn't think it did because it resets, right?
Our logs show that something sent it a command.
Oh.
An API, which is an outside connection.
All right, so who's hacking into us? We're like Microsoft now.
I know.
We're starting the countdown now.
Stand by for the A main, round 5. And they're off. Green lights. Marshall Miller takes a defensive line into turn number 1, immediately turning right. And Dom D'Angelo back there, following right along as they're going to snake their way through turns 2 and 3. A little bit of bumper cars going on back there in the 9, 10, 11 spots. Oh, he's going to get pushed wide as they're going to go around outside. Otherwise, the leaders get off to a great start. Dom D'Angelo definitely fighting for his position between 2 and 3 in the championship. You got Rachel back there in the 4th spot. That's the person that he wants to make sure he stays ahead of if he wants to maintain the championship. And Rachel definitely needs to get by him if she wants to make more points than him tonight. So right now you're keeping an eye on that 2nd and 4th positions. As you look double wide there, Jacob Ryan
holding them all off. Given the usual lean that we've seen, it's good to have him back in the car. Definitely recognize that figure as he racing the car. Yeah.
Marshall Miller still leading the pack in the outdoor.
Something curious, Marshall's first lap of 40. Everyone else 39 right behind him, so the pack is tight. Dominic right on his bumper.
Definitely a close battle. You see somebody back there pitting. Who is that going to be? That's going to be
Kart 22.
Kart 22 for Tyler. So Tyler is going to jump off early as we'll follow backwards from your pole sitter, Marshall Miller. Now he's going purple. That 40 was just an anomaly, I'm assuming.
Yeah, David right on the bumper of Dominic, you can see.
I believe that David's going to be looking to do the same move that he did on Marshall on the GP series 2 weeks ago.
That inside squeeze in that turn?
Yep. Marshall did to him, I'm sorry. Marshall passed him for the lead on the last lap. That one's only a 14-lap race, so you don't have a lot of time to try to make your moves.
Go Marshall, go at a 39.093. 3 laps in.
You can see Dom kind of looking to the right of his shoulder as he was going through those corners. We don't often see that paying off in the long term for drivers who are looking behind them, but definitely being aware that David is right there on his bumper. David's going to give him a couple bumps into the corner. Tried to squeeze him on the inside. Take him on the inside. No position changes there. We got Rachel, who's actually got a better view of this whole battle here.
She's trying to find her way through.
Marshall's kind of checked out with a couple different car lengths, but basically Dom is holding them off. I would venture to guess that this is one of those classic examples where your defensive line is costing you time.
Definitely. You can see the fast line that they're both taking versus his line.
And nope, I was going to say David took the inside, but Rachel's going to make a pit stop and peel off from this traffic so maybe she can get away from him. Oh, is David going to have the preferred line going through the front straightaway? No, not quite. Dom's going to correct that and make the corrective action. We talking about Giovanni here?
Yeah, there's a big pack of them that they're working through.
I believe that's Jacob right in front. No, 28. So, oh, no,
Tristan. Yeah, Tristan McCann. Yeah, Jacob ended up getting the short end of the stick in one of those turns. He got bounced back a couple of positions.
Looks like Rachel is working on her pit stop now, and Giovanni's going to pit. Oh, at the same time.
More.
So we're going to have 2 pit stoppers here at the same time. We'll stay on board with Giovanni. Him and Tristan going to pit at the exact same time. And we'll have 2 pit timers here running. They got to reset that pit timer number 1. Not 30 seconds, though. Let's switch over to David Pons, who is still looking at the back of Dom D'Angelo, 2nd and 3rd spots. Dom giving a little bit of brake light coming into the inside corner, trying to slow the car down. You see a combination of drivers. Sometimes they use the brake and sometimes they use the throttle to scrub off some speed. There is some debate about which one is the fastest line on this indoor track. It seems to be that the brake is the faster one based upon some of Marshall's lap times. Meanwhile, you're looking at the onboard of Tyler Covell sitting back here.
He's working his way up to that pack. That pack ahead of him has had a lot of movement.
Yeah, with that early pit stop putting him back there, probably not the ideal position to be in for back markers, but...
Yeah, Jacob Bryan just made up 2 positions in that carousel. This is the group that's getting a little fun
Jacob
going
Bryan,
into turn 1.
Yeah, Jacob Bryan there in the red shirt. He's got PJ right ahead of him.
He's trying to get those 2 positions back that he lost somewhere.
Maybe he's looking to be the biggest mover of the race. That does pay an additional bonus point. Last round we had, let's follow the other guys here, camera 2. There we go. Last time we did have 2 drivers who moved up 5 spots during the race.
Ooh, PJ. Ooh, he's able to dive on the inside of PJ. That was a really good move. PJ just left a little bit too much room there into the switchback outside. Jacob Bryan is one at a time working his way back through the field. Looking at the back of the 30 now.
Of Tristan, but that's
PJ
that's
able
gonna
to squeeze in.
Yeah, PJ taking that spot. He's had a couple different incidents on the last couple of rounds, but elbows out tonight, trying to make sure he doesn't lose anything. This is going to be a really defensive line going into the back straightaway.
Yeah,
yes, he's going to be caught in between Tristan and Jacob. Jacob pushing him on the inside.
Nobody used their brake pedals. PJ's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody just let off the
using him
gas.
as the bumper.
Yeah.
Giovanni's going to take advantage of that as well, pushing through the carousel. PJ is just saying, what is going on here?
Yeah, he's going to end up giving that. He's going to give it right back to him. If you go in with PJ like that, you better be ready for the same moves.
And at the same time, he's got Kendrick right behind him in the number 32. This whole train of cars keeping the action alive just 8 minutes into the race. So you now got Tristan in the lead of this pack, followed by Jacob Bryan. No one of this pack yet. I'm sorry, Tristan is one of your pit stoppers, which is why he's in the middle of this battle.
Yeah, he came out in the wrong part of the track. It was Jacob Bryan kind of goes a little wide, taking Sean with him. Ooh, bouncing around the barriers. They're all just looking for a place of track that doesn't exist right now. Giovanni on the inside.
He's going to have the preferred line there.
Can he close this out? He does, but PJ going right with him.
Yep, he is not going to give Jacob any grace going through that corner as he takes the position back.
So we come back inside.
That was a good job of Giovanni holding the defensive line in there. We've seen sometimes when he might go wide. Oh, somebody goes sideways pushing. Frustrated at the mistake.
Now they have to make that ground up. And I've always said this as a driver. If you're going to take me out, at least take me out in the general direction we're going. That way it doesn't, you don't lose, so much track space on it.
But with this being Tyler, he basically has put himself in that situation because of the early pit stop.
Yeah.
Now we're going to watch the battle between Jacob and PJ.
No love lost there from the beginning of the race. So
Absolutely not.
I'm sure PJ is going to do everything he can to keep him behind him.
We've talked about the battle between the two of them, and that continues in round number 5.
Starting to break away a little bit, just packs of 2, but it kind of works out that way.
He just gave me gave us the wave signal there.
I'm pretty sure it was the thumbs up.
Let's work together on that one.
Marshall turning a 38.7. Top 2 running 38.7s. Dominic just ran a 38.7 as well. But this is the action on track for the mid-pack.
That's going to give PJ the pit. He's messing us up with his helmet choice. I think last time he had that bright yellow, or that was GP.
Yeah,
but
he
he
had
is
a new
back to the classic blue again. Let's check up Rachel Hart.
She already pit. So
she is also pitted.
Back in 9th, yeah.
She is the leader of the pitters, I guess, since PJ's in the pits now. Marshall Miller's, obviously that last one was purple as well. And looking out the back of his car, basically just clean track space.
Told you.
We were watching this battle early on in the race, and it looks like they've kind of settled their differences into a pace.
Try phoning a friend now?
Phone a friend. I asked him, I said, are you going to be able to answer while you're driving? And he said yes, so...
Sir.
Hey, how are you doing out there in third spot? Can you hear me?
Hey.
Can you hear me okay?
Hey. Oh, hey, James, how you?
Hey, what you up to,
I can
buddy?
hear you. What's up?
Just driving around the track?
I'm getting tired of looking at the back of Dom.
Drive faster.
It looks like you had an opportunity early on to get by him, but you guys were pushing elbows on each other. What did you think of all that?
He was very scared of me being behind him.
Yeah, we could see him looking back quite a bit.
I could tell. I could tell by the body language. I think he still is, to be honest, but I have him some space. It's not helping either of us for me to push him like that.
Yeah, have you backed down the pace at this point, or is he kind of checked out and you guys are just settled in around the same times?
I'm taking bites out of him now. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, you're catching up to him.
Well, this is very intriguing to follow along.
I was trying to wave to him earlier. He was having trouble with that cart earlier. I was trying to tell him to just pit and get another one, but he wouldn't do it. And now I'm right on his butt again.
Yep.
I'm getting tired of looking at him. Go for the pit.
Nope, you're going to go for the pass.
You don't look. Hey, no. If you don't like the cart, I mean, go for another one, man.
Well, it may not be the cart. It may just be him
sliding and bouncing and cussing and slapping and all kinds of crap. So
we'll let you race it out here. Good to talk to you. We'll check up on you maybe a little later.
Hey, if you want to keep talking to me, that's fine. I'm not doing anything right now.
You're not doing anything.
It's all I just have myself to talk to.
Ooh, make that move.
Oh, is he? No, he's going to maintain that position as well. Well, I don't know if he can see you telling him to do the pit stop.
Oh, there you go, inside.
That's going to give Rachel the maneuver. We better hang up with you. You're going to lose some spots.
I just pit maneuvered her, so you can't do that.
All right, we'll check up with you later.
I'll have to fight with Dom now.
All right, good luck.
Well, I mean, I got nothing to do now.
All right.
This is so I got clear track.
All right,
Okay, see you later.
Let's see some 38s. All right, bye. Live from the cockpit, David Pons in the 14 machine. It's now become a 3-car train as they're fighting for second, third, and fourth position. Marshall Miller kind of checked up out on the field, pretty much like he usually does. He's got way more than just a few car lengths on the field. He's got several seconds. So now you'll have Rachel breathing down the back of Dom D'Angelo, who's in the 20 machine, that fire helmet, fire red. He's not wearing the green monster again. I guess maybe he retired that after one race.
Yeah. Well, and she's already pit, so if she makes it by these guys, she's going to have a pretty good advantage. We've got a stoppage on track for some of the field. All the field.
We are red flag.
Wonder what they saw.
Maybe to review some footage.
We'll have to check out on track what's going on.
Jacob Ryan's cart.
Oh, we have Drew. Hang on a second. Go ahead, Drew.
So Jacob Ryan's cart is having timing issues.
Oh.
So we're swapping out his cart.
Copy that.
Good catch. So is that showing him a lap behind them?
He's probably 2.
Adam's letting us know that his pedals were not locking.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, that's tough driving around in a cart like that.
What cart number is that? That's they retired carts. What car did they take off track? Do you remember?
They took off cart 6.
6. Okay. That. Well, we're halfway through the race.
Yeah.
So we'll have 15 minutes remaining. It's been pretty entertaining to this point.
It has.
Even though the field is pretty spaced out. I mean, we've got some interesting battles across the track here.
Yeah, mid-pack battles and...
Everybody's talking to Katie now.
Yeah. Katie is our stand-in flag girl for the pits. Basically, the pits are set up so only 2 carts can pit at one time, and it's tough to see the pits when you're entering in the pits like we showed you earlier. That pit entry is right when you're coming in through the outside part of the track to the inside part of the track, so we have a flag person there holding a red flag to let you know don't pit if there's more than 2 cars in there.
And I think they're going to be standing by for green flag. So we're going to have to remember that Jacob Ryan is basically out of sequence then, if that's
correct.
And off they go. Back racing with Marshall Miller as your leader. We've got a battle coming into the track. Looks like the start there between Dom and David was.
Yeah, Dom was able to close the inside right as they got restarted and just was able to snag that position pretty easily.
Took advantage of the track position or positioning maybe.
Rachel looking on the outside of David. David blocks her out. She's signaling just keep going. On board with Rachel, looking for a way around if she can, or they're going to work together and get past Dom.
Although Dom has pulled out a big gap now. He's several car lengths in front of David. 2 of them banging wheels at the start. Who do we have on the tail of Marshall? We got the number 29 of Kendrick. So Kendrick's got a good mentor to follow.
Definitely. If there's one person to let past you, it's Marshall.
Checking up on Tyler.
Showing down in 9th. He's already pit, though.
Earlier problems a few laps ago with traffic that it wasn't lap traffic, but he was out in the middle of because of an early pit stop. And also on board with PJ Mannypenny, which the battle between him and Jacob Ryan continues. Last lap times for these 2 guys, 40.2 and 40.1. Not necessarily super fast. Let's see if we can notice any difference in the lines when these 2 guys are taking. Oops, indoor. Call it the Jacob Ryan lean.
Yeah.
Leans the car over one way or the other.
Pretty much running the same line. PJ's got a couple shots on the inside of that line when he runs wide, but nothing he can really do. And Marshall catching up to the back of that group already.
So they are rounding outside through the S's there. As Dom D'Angelo is now in for his pit stop, trading off the number 20 machine for number 5. Battle on track still continues between Rachel and David. Is either one of them going to pit? No, I don't think they did. They weren't going to. Oh, that's because, yeah, they did not. What are we looking at? The top 4 have not pitted so far. Everybody, Marshall through Sean.
Correct.
And Dom D'Angelo now not getting speed back onto the car, waving his hands, so they manually issued speed to him. Looks like he was dragging his tail as he was going out the pits. David Pons now going to get his pit stop and peel off. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Marshall Miller.
Yeah.
We'll switch on board with David Pons. One of the 3 who has not pitted so far. We just heard his strategy when we called him. Basically, if you like the car, stay out, run. What's Tyler messing with here? He got the number 30 of Tristan up in front of him. This is a battle for position. Both of these guys somewhat early pit stoppers.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see where Marshall slots out with his gap because he just came out of the pits.
So Marshall's rounding turn 3 right now. Let's see who he's got around him. You pick him up on the outside there, Zach. Good. And then let's look at the gap. Who's he got behind him? Is that Kendrick?
Yes.
Yep.
And then Rachel and so the next 2 would be Rachel and Sean, or I'm sorry, Rachel and Dominic coming through the doors there. So that's the gap, first, second, and third.
David and Rachel, assuming the same or similar pit stop strategies. Now back on with the leaders.
Has David?
Oh no,
already?
he hasn't.
David
no,
hasn't
sorry.
pit yet.
I wondered why that was different. We'll follow them outside.
Yeah, so Rachel has to catch up to Marshall, who just went through the doors right as we switched cameras. So she's got a little bit of a gap to work up on that. And Dominic did slot out behind them when he took his pit stop. So theoretically, it would be Marshall, Rachel, Dominic.
Rachel just breaking into a 38.5 on that lap. She's on fire in that number 13.
With David running a 38.6, they're running similar times. That's probably why she hasn't given too much of a fight to get around him. They're about a tenth off each other.
That's impressive. She was able to set that kind of a lap time following behind him. They're coming inside, Drew. As we got Kendrick allowing to come by.
That's very nice of him.
Another 38.
Good line to follow for Kendrick. Another group of people you want to be in front of you to learn a line from.
Rachel, well warmed up, I guess, coming off of the Pro Endurance League just 6 days ago, running track time or double the length of race there on that Monday night. And here's the onboard view from hers. I want to maybe drop off her name here. Let's see. So that we can... Oh, why is it not going out?
It's on that web page, right?
I wanted to look to see what her throttle pedal was doing down there, but oh well.
An interesting one on track I was watching, I was just randomly checking up on the screens we have up here, is like the Giovanni battle with like Tyler, Giovanni, and Tristan. I saw them running in a pack together.
Yeah.
And there they are outside. Yeah, so they're ahead. There's PJ. But just ahead of that group, these guys were... idle curiosity looking mid-pack of seeing how everyone was going. And they've separated themselves out now. But 3 very good drivers, 3, 4, 5 very good drivers right there With 8 minutes to go, I'm sure there's still going to be position swaps. But that also brings in David Ponce, Brandon Kovac, Sean Horgan still to pit, and where they come out on track, if they wind up in traffic.
Let's follow Giovanni there. Go.
Oh, as we got Brandon coming in for a pit. And
that'll
Sean.
That'll give Giovanni some clean track space now. Giovanni pretty disappointed in the last round. He basically lost 8 positions in the course of his race. He finished back in 13th spot. Looking for a much better result this week, or this month, if he can keep it up right now, sitting in the 7th spot. Our youngest competitor in the number 8 machine right now.
Yeah, and it's still impressive to me that he's 12?
11.
13, 11. Okay,
Yep.
so I was overestimating. 11 years old competing out here in the pro level. I love it.
He's a veteran of these cars, starting with gas, and also ran the 12 Hours of Canton back in March.
Okay, so those guys that just came out of the pits, Brandon and Sean, they did slot in. They're in turns 3 now, so they came into some traffic. So they will have that headache for them for the rest of the race. David Ponce at a 38.5, so him and Rachel are running similar times. Tyler Covell, how's he doing?
Well, he's hanging in there after that incident.
Yeah.
Going sideways back in the carousel a few minutes ago.
So David is still the only one that has to pit.
Yeah, David is the only one who has not pitted yet.
Tyler able to make that pass, looks like? Yeah, he did.
So let's check and see our last lap, purple 38.5. The battle for him is going to be see if he gained any position or any space between him and Marshall when they get done with their pit stops. So,
yeah, that, and they're coming up to lap traffic. So him and Rachel have been running as a pair on track, and that's great when you have clean air and you're running similar lap time to your fellow racer. But when you get up into traffic like this, that has a tendency to shuffle things around, and that is Marshall right ahead of PJ, I think. Is that Marshall's helmet? So yeah, they're catching up to Marshall. Yes, it is.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so Rachel has that gap to Marshall
and
for first and second place, and then David, where he slots out in his pit stops, is going to be really important.
yeah, and probably not to his favor, it looks like.
No, not at this point. Yeah, if you're running with the top 2 and they've already pitted, your pit stop is going to be somewhere mid-pack, I would guess.
Yeah, because now David is behind PJ, so he's not able to run clear lap times. Although, still run 38.6. I guess I can't say that. That is...
I really wish there was a way that we could tell what David was thinking.
Should we call David again? Is that what you're saying, Drew?
I mean, he still has to pit, and there's only 4.5 minutes left.
Yeah,
right?
what is his strategy at this point?
All right, well, let's try to find out.
Sir,
Yeah, so what's your strategy?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Strategy? What do you mean strategy?
Are you, it looks like you're going to be stuck, you're stuck behind some traffic, and it looks like if you make your pit stop, you're not going to be in good track position. Are you just trying to run this car out as long as you can?
Oh, shit, I still got a pit.
Yeah, you have not pitted yet.
There's 4 minutes left.
If I don't pit, do I get disqualified?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You're 2 laps on the field right now, so...
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
I keep that in mind.
All right, go deal with that traffic.
Good luck.
Oh, it's about to be dealt with. Just keep watching.
Okay. Well, we'll be waiting for that pit stop, okay?
Let him through.
Bye, David.
Bye-bye.
Let's see if anything happens with this. So, yeah, he is going to slot back, let him by. That's very nice. Now it's David, Rachel, and there's Marshall, the first place. Well, first place after it did.
Oh, it ended again.
It did. And it
What
was
is
at
going
3
on?
minutes. It was at that 3-minute mark.
Fickable. Sorry.
But the timer's still going at least.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. Maybe.
Hopefully it still counts positions, though.
All right, let's follow the leaders, Drew.
Let's stay overhead just in case. All right, so this is for the potential first and second between Marshall and Rachel. David still yet to pit with 2 minutes to go. And then Dominic not really in the picture for the first and second. He's got a pretty good gap, but let's see if they're able to make a pass on Marshall here. Marshall seems just running out of character as he gets slid sideways. And
all over the board there.
Yeah, and that allows Rachel to go through. Rachel on the back of Marshall now. David pitting, so that was part of that.
And they're all happy, jubilant, I guess.
That's one way of describing it. Yeah. Let's see. Is there room?
Rachel on the back of Marshall Miller, trying to chase down the leader. As David Pons comes into the pits. That is his countdown clock for his release. We're going to follow them around and see where he comes out.
Yeah, this is super important. 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. And he's going to slot out.
It's going to be a slow pit exit.
Oh, all the way from the back.
Will he be able... He's rowing his oar over there.
Oh, and the lapper went through, so he's got PJ...
But the question is, where did Dom go through? Is Dom caught up to the field or no? Dom is back here. So
David in third.
Yep. Slots him into third. I guess we'll knock this out of here since the only thing we're watching is the time.
Yeah, let's go back outside. I want to see, because really it's this battle here that we need to watch.
Sorry, guys. Rachel and Marshall, first and second in your point standings for a championship. Only 10 points separate between the two of them. Rachel's going to try to squeeze and do the inside line maneuver.
And he's going to try to switch back.
Rachel has the preferred line through 2, sliding sideways a little bit. Now Marshall calculated through 3, double wide almost in 4. And Rachel's going to have the advantage coming out the outdoors.
Ooh, and the 3 behind them. They're 3 wide going outside. Wait, stay right here. I want to watch them. Oh, they closed up. That was PJ in that group there with David right behind him. They were going 3 wide outside.
Rachel now having 1 car length over Marshall Miller. We'll be watching for white flag probably within the next lap, I would assume.
Five seconds to go in the race. Yeah, and the pack right behind these two, too, is very contentious. So Rachel with clear track ahead of her.
Doesn't have to worry about anything except for Marshall behind. And will they get white flag this time from the starter stand?
Yes, they do.
Rachel on a tear today, moving her way up, using pit strategy to get past Marshall in the late stages of this race. Marshall has captured the first 3 rounds of the Endurance Championship. Rachel capturing the most recent one, and if she can maintain the lead here, it will be her second, tying them 2 and 3 races between the two of them, dominating the championship.
PJ Mannypenny just pulled into the pits.
And there you'll have it. Rachel riding to the checkered flag. She will take round 5, followed by Marshall Miller and David Pons.
What happened in that carousel? Just out of shot. I think that was David involved in that.
Looks like Dom D'Angelo will finish up in 4th, as the way that we saw them sort out. We'll just stay here with the rest of them going across the checkered flag, and we'll be maintaining, or we'll be asking the track workers to verify the finishing position. So very well fought battle between the top three is pretty much what we've seen through this entire series. This time, Rachel comes out victorious. Let's see what the interaction is between the two of them, if it's friendly fire. And we're sending Jason down to interview our leaders.
We got to do a lot of post-track here. People ended it early.
Once again, I confused the master.
You confused him?
He thought I was lap traffic.
Well, when I turned my head, I couldn't see the helmet because she was so close. I was like, well, I know after the incident in the S turns, I know there was lap traffic behind me, and I was like, okay, so I'm just not really going to defend here. We're just going to let them by if they want by that bad.
But then once you saw her go by...
I saw the blue, and I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's Rachel's helmet. So I had to, defend, try to attack in here, and I'm like, okay, well, my cart's just fucking going down. I just see her going away, and I'm like, okay. But,
yeah,
it was fun.
So came into it not worried about it, and then...
I'm still not worried about it.
Still not worried about it. Okay, good. Rachel, first place, congratulations.
Thank you.
Any secret sauce to that whole thing? I mean, you and David, you were trying to get by him for a minute, but then...
I knew he had a pit stop, and the pit stop gaps you 5 seconds on track when you come out. So I knew when I came out, because I pitted early, didn't like the cart. So when I came out, I made up quite a bit of time on them. So I knew when he pitted, I'd be at an advantage. So I rode that out, and we caught right up to Marshall, and I just played that out as best as I could, got around him. It was a tough pass.
It was a tough pass. We were talking, you and David riding together, you guys were exchanging fastest laps, so pretty good partner to ride with, right?
Yeah, I had it, and then he bested by 1/100th of a second. So we were just back and forth. I'm like, just get closer to Marshall, that's all it is.
And then you...
She only went fast because I towed her.
Yeah.
I was running fast before he towed me. I caught him.
We called David in his helmet during the race.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so he was giving us live commentary.
That's me. I can answer on my watch.
You can answer on your watch too. So I guess anybody with a Cardo now is free game for us to call.
One press button, you can pick up a phone. I've done it before, so yeah.
Cool. All right. Stuff to keep in mind for the next race. Who else do I got to grab? Where's Dominic? Dominic. Aww.
You, me.
Yeah, so who is on podium?
Rachel won, me.
Rachel, Marshall, David. Did you get past at some point?
No, my cart didn't. My cart didn't speed up. And yeah, passed me.
David passed you in the last...
David passed me, and then we stopped, and then I passed him, and I had an awesome gap.
They can't see me.
And then I pit, and then my car didn't speed up until turn 2, so I think that was just the difference between me and him at that point.
Bummer. Well, better luck next time, buddy.
What did I do?
Nothing, not you.
Oh, okay.
We already talked to you.
Did you?
Yeah. No, we didn't. Come here. So we got you on the cell phone tonight.
I don't know how strategy works. Sometimes it's just good to be dull-minded.
Yeah, we had to remind you to pit.
Oh, yeah. Forgot all about it.
We have a question from Rachel.
No,
she said
you guys reminded me, and I said, Marshall's right over there. I think I'll go pit. I think I'll go smack into it before I pit. That was the main thought.
What was the question?
She says, does everyone typically get told that you better strategize what you're doing because there's this much time and you haven't pit yet? Maybe referring to the fact that we kind of helped David out a little bit.
This is a long question. I don't know if I want to sit here for this.
No, Rachel Light in the chat said that we might have helped you strategize by reminding you to pit.
That is unfair. You're right. That is outside interference. Conspiracy? I think so.
I think he just needs to go do another burnout and make up for it.
You just have to do another burnout and make up for it.
If I won, I would have. I had it all planned. I was going to pull up in front of the fence and just get out of the cart, get in the car, and reap one. But I guess if we're just going to disqualify me for outside interference, I guess we're just not going to get one.
It's not in the rules, but that's how rules in racing are created. Now we have to add a rule.
If Rachel and Marshall submit their positions and I did come in first, like the board said, then comment in the chat. Who won this race?
Ooh, chat vote who won.
Come on, chat. Don't make us ban you. Vote. Let's go.
Yeah,
Giovanni's saying he's winning. Giovanni, how was your race, buddy?
Giovanni won, to be honest.
Undergut strategy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's the best driver we got.
You think he's the best driver?
Credentials-wise, he's the best driver we got.
That is true. I mean, world championship behind you and everything like that. But seriously, how is the racing going for you?
Good.
Yeah.
You got nothing better to say?
Lewis Hamilton helped me win.
Should we?
Lewis Hamilton, 200th podium today. Yeah, there you go. So I just saw Instagram. I think you just got a new kart.
Oh no, that was Leighton, I think.
Oh, Leighton just got a new kart. Yeah. I follow all your guys' Instagrams.
You know what the best part about having a friend with a kart is? You get to drive the kart and you don't have to own it. So when you break stuff, he has to pay for it, right?
That's true. It's always better to be the friend that knows a friend with a boat.
Exactly. A boat, pool, truck. You ever need somebody to move? It's better to have somebody else's truck.
That's the worst part about having a truck.
Come on.
Well, we need a truck.
You need a truck?
I'll sell you mine.
I'll
sell you my truck.
To put the cart in.
Oh.
Look at this. We're getting deals done here live.
Yeah, dude. Let's go. We gotta make this entertaining.
It's true.
We can't just pit maneuver anybody wherever we want, like what you just seen out there. So we gotta
half a cart length.
Yeah, I saw some shifty ones there at the end though. When I got into lap traffic, I seen some shifty stuff back there. I could write a book.
You should.
I don't think so.
What are you gonna call it?
I'm illiterate.
Okay. I think that's it from down here in the pits, James. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
That was a good wrap up. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for everybody for following along on the live stream. We appreciate you doing whatever we do here and being a part of it. So share this with your friends. And then come race. That's the best part. You get to come do the exact same thing that all these guys did. So for the hardworking crew at K1 Speed Canton, I'm James. Jason was alongside. We look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, hopefully for GP again. If not, in 1 month, and we'll wrap up this championship. Everybody have a good night. Thanks.